Hello everyone, how's it going? My name is Dan the Tutor, on a mission to become the world's greatest tutor. In today's video, we're going to talk about how to graph linear lines given the equation, one of the most fundamental skills in all of Algebra 1. So first, we need to talk about the form y equals mx plus b. This is known as slope-intercept form, and it's one of the most fundamental things we learn in Algebra 1. The name is quite intuitive because m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. But now let's talk about what that means a little bit more. So m is the slope. What is slope? Slope is typically defined as rise over run. In other words, if I were to have a graph, the rise is how high up we're going. So from this point to this point, I'm going up 2. And then the run is how far over we're going, 1, 2, 3, 4. So then in this case, the rise divided by the run is going to be 2 divided by 4, which simplifies to 1/2. And that would be the slope, m. And then b is just known as the y-intercept. This is where the graph crosses the y-axis. So in other words, if I had this graph right here, where does this graph cross the y-axis? I would say right there, which is -2. And so in other words, b equals -2. So once you have the slope m and the y-intercept b, we just put it all together to write y equals mx plus b. And so for instance, if I say y equals 4x plus 11, immediately you know that m, the slope, is going to be 4, up 4 over 1. And you know that the y-intercept, where it crosses the y-axis, is going to be at positive 11. And with that information, that's all you need to graph. So with that being said, let's look at some examples. For the first one, I want to graph y equals 3x minus 1. If you don't have graph paper, you can just put in your own tick marks. Just make sure they're evenly spaced. And I like to do about 4 tick marks in every direction. But you don't have to do 4, it's just a rule of thumb. So if you do want to give this one a try on your own, go ahead, pause the video. But if not, here's the solution. So first, I immediately recognize that my slope is 3, m equals 3, and my y-intercept is -1, b equals -1. Personally, I like to plot the y-intercept first because it's really easy. I just have to go to the y-axis, find -1, and put a big dot there because that's one of my coordinate points. Now to take care of the slope, m equals 3, what I like to do is, starting from the point, the y-intercept, go up 3 and over 1, because that's what the slope is, rise over run, so up 3, and why is it over 1? Because technically, that's not just 3, that's 3 divided by 1. I know the 1's invisible, but that's how you treat it. And just so you know, if this was -3, you would actually go down 3 and then right 1. And then from this point, you can go up 3 over 1 again, but I'm not going to, for 2 reasons. Number 1, I would be off the graph, and that's not good. And 2, I really only need 2 points to make a line. In other words, now I just make the line go like that, and then going the other way. I can draw the dot if I want, down 3, left 1 this time. But technically, I don't even need to do that. I just did it to make my line a little bit straighter. And so there we go. That's our graph for the first one. Okay, here's number 2. Graph the function y equals -x. If you think you've got it, go ahead, pause the video, try it on your own, and then here's the solution. So maybe you're hung up on the fact that we don't know what m or b is. I'll tell you. There's technically an invisible 1 in front of that x. In other words, the slope m is going to be -1 here. And then b, the y-intercept, if I don't have anything there, the y-intercept is just 0. It doesn't mean that there's no y-intercept. That would be wrong to say. It just means that when I draw my dot for the y-intercept, it is going to be at the origin, the 0 point. And so then this is all I need to graph. Again, I'm putting about 4 tick marks in every direction because that's what I like to do. So first, plotting the y-intercept, we said it was at 0, which is the origin. And then for the slope, it means we're going down 1, right 1. So down 1, right 1. I can keep going. Down 1, right 1. You get the picture. And then going the other way, it's always the opposite. So up one, left one, up one, left one. And if you do it right, it should look like it forms a nice straight line. And if you have some kind of V shape going on, it means you did something wrong. But this looks good. So then I just connect a line that goes through all my points. Doesn't have to be perfect. And there we go. There's our answer. And then for the third and final one we have today, it's going to be a tricky one. It's y equals just -3. So what do we do for this? There's no mx+b form. Well, technically there is. What if I wrote it like this? Y equals 0x minus 3. Well, now you know what it is. M equals 0, and the y-intercept is -3. And technically, these two things are the same, even though they look different. So whenever I'm missing an x, and I just have y equals some number, you need to know two things. Number one, that slope is going to be 0, and that means it's going to be a horizontal line at y equals -3. So let me show you what that looks like. So for y equals -3, we said the y-intercept is at -3 down here. And then we're saying it's a horizontal line, meaning that it's just going to go straight across in both directions, and it should look like this. And there we go. There's my answer. I don't have to do anything else other than that. Horizontal lines will always look like this. And they'll be in the form y equals and then some number. By the way, if you did want to graph a vertical line, then I'll tell you the equation would be in the form x equals some number, like x equals 2. And this is something you need to know. This is, again, not traditional y equals mx+b. As a matter of fact, if you asked me the slope, I would say that the slope is undefined or infinite. And I don't feel like explaining why right now. Just trust me, if you have x equals some number, then it's just going to be a vertical line at that x value, in this case 2. And there we go. There's all the tips and tricks I have for you today on how to graph linear lines in the form y equals mx+b slope-intercept form. If you have any questions, please post them in the comments. Thank you all for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, and bye-bye.